Thank you all, and welcome to the annual Congressional Jewish Celebration of American Jewish Heritage Month. We're going to begin the program with the invocation given by Rabbi Richard Baruch Rabinowitz, Executive Director of Aish International. Would you all please rise?
On behalf of Aish International, we pray that the Almighty shower His blessings on the United States government, on our honorees and their families, and on all of us. God bless the United States of America, and may God continue to bless the Jewish experience here. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to this August event celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month. Obviously, what we have as the Jewish people to bring to the world more than anything else is the Torah, our heritage. And when we say Jewish American Heritage Month, I see a certain change in phrase from American Jewry to Jewish Americans. And one is the adjective, one is the noun. And I believe that as we become more and more integrated into America, and our freedoms, our unprecedented freedoms, are underscored and punctuated in things such as this, a kosher lunch in the Kennedy Caucus Room of the United States Senate.
What journey better represents the American dream? Chief Rabbi Itzhak Yehoshua, who came to this country in 1987, and he successfully built the American Bukharian community here from what was once a very small group into a vast community of 65,000 members. And so I am honored to present to him the award In God We Trust.
I am honored to stand here before you today as a child survivor of the Holocaust. My story is one that tells of what can happen when we assume that nothing will change, that life is static, and we take our freedoms for granted.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Bloody Sunday March in Selma across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That event was one of the major turning points in the civil rights movement, in which countless Jews were involved. Being true to that legacy, American Jews like Mark Meyer Appel remain devoted to advancing civil rights for all Americans and bridging the divide between different communities. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Mark Meyer Appel.
The Jewish community played a very strong part marching along the battles of civil rights, voting rights, and all other rights to bring justice to oppressed people and to minorities and ethnic communities that were being discriminated against. So we as a community have supported this strongly.
I didn't grow up in a big city like New York or Washington or Philadelphia or Buffalo or Detroit. I grew up in rural Alabama. I heard people referring to members of the Jewish community saying Jew. And as a child, I tried to avoid using the term that it was almost like saying the N-word. And I tried to find a way to say the Jewish people, the Jewish this, the Jewish that. So it doesn't matter whether we are black or white, Jewish, Muslim, Latino, Asian American, or Native American. We're one people, we're one family, we're one house. We all live in the same house, not just the American house, but the world house.
We are deeply troubled by the resurgence of anti-Semitism in nations around the world, even in nations that we assume because of their democratic traditions we wouldn't see anti-Semitism again. This is happening in a lot of places, and we need to work together on that.
I look forward to continue to work with the great Jewish community, both to make sure our country can be all that it can be, to make sure that we maintain and strengthen the unbreakable bonds between the United States and Israel, and that we can make sure that together we work to heal the world. To Gary and Penny Abramson for their dedication to Jewish education and their support for Aish International and just thank them for all they've done to help heal the world. Their good works here at home in Israel and throughout the globe.
Everyone in this room has a record of accomplishment, and I would ask you all to think of any other country in the world where you would have been free to do what you've done and get to the stage in life that you're at. Outside of Israel, what country in the history of the world has welcomed Jewish people at the highest levels of government? It's hard to think of any outside of the United States of America.
I am very honored to be here in your presence, and I'm also honored to have the privilege of recognizing Aish Torah International, the largest Jewish outreach organization of its kind in the world. So I thank you, and I appreciate your aims to connect Jews to their ancient heritage in a warm, non-judgmental environment.
With recognition of the contributions of Jewish Americans to our country, we give thanks not when we are hungry for refuge, but when we give thanks for the bounty of what you have contributed. And that is just as meaningful, or perhaps more so, when we give it when we are hungry. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the contributions of your community.
I'd like to introduce the ranking member on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Eliot Engel, who's also a personal friend of mine.
Congratulations to the honorees, especially my dear friends Bob and Michelle Diener. And Ezra, you're one of a kind. I don't know how you do this. Let's always remember we work together, we work hard.
This is a great tradition that goes back to 1879, when the Belzer Rebbe created what was called Machzikei Hadas, upholders of the faith. And the son of the Chassam Sofer, Rabbi Shimon Sofer, served in the Polish parliament. So the tradition of Jewish community involvement in politics goes back more than 100 years, and it's something that we can all be proud of.
I do not, for the life of me, understand why the Arab states do not follow the example of the State of Israel. I do not understand it. If they would, you could have some peace and prosperity.
Thank you. This is the most important thing in our tradition, in our religion, in our life. And I came from Forest Hills, New York, to say to all of you, thank you for welcoming our community, and thank you for helping us to be a strong, Jewish, proud community here in the United States. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Israel. Chag Sameach.
Together with my wife Penny, we are humbled by the recognition afforded to us and join you in partnership as we bring our Jewish experience to this great nation to the next generation and beyond. Thank you.
Aish, my fellow board members, and each and every individual in our mission is ready to play our part in the pursuit of making this a better world for all of us. Thank you.
I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Rabbi Abba Cohn, the Vice President for Federal Affairs of Agudath Israel of America. I believe he's still in the room. And Nathan Diamond, who was here at the Orthodox Union.
When I travel the world in my capacity as ranking member of the Middle East Subcommittee, to do all of the sorts of things that I never would have dreamed of. Like, for example, getting to know the Silk Road Jewish community as I traveled through Kazakhstan and Tajikistan and Uzbekistan and celebrated Kabbalat Shabbat in the shul in Tashkent, and had dinner afterward at the Israeli ambassador's home. And we were talking about the community, and what I was told was that, in fact, there's a very large Bukharian community. Most of them now live in Israel and New York. So it's an honor to be with you, Rabbi.
So I'm humbled to be here, Michelle and I, to receive this award. But really, the congratulations goes to those that are, spend their lives and their careers at Aish Torah and really give it their all and really make it an incredible organization or make an incredible impact on the Jewish people and the state of Israel.
We Jews have a very small portion of the world's population, though we've had an extremely disproportionate positive impact on the world, all out of proportion to our numbers. And I have the honor to introduce someone else who has a small portion. He's the only Jewish Republican member of Congress, of the House of Representatives, and he too is having a disproportionately positive impact on the Congress. So it's my pleasure to introduce Lee Zeldin.
The cause that you're here for today is a cause that will extend generations, decades and generations after you leave. We just have to do our part. And I thank those who are here from New York for allowing me to help represent your voice. And thank you again for being here, and to Aish for the invitation.
Through Aish, I have seen a young Jewish men and women discovering the same gift of Torah. I have had the opportunity to show them Israel and help them become leaders within the community. How better to honor our Jewish American heritage than to ensure it flourishes for many years to come. Thank you for this award and the opportunity to share this wonderful celebration of our heritage together with you.